Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. It's time for another dynamic effort squat and deadlift day. Now, if you guys count the sets, you're going to notice I only did 7 sets. 7 sets. I swore I did 8. I thought I did 8. I counted 8, but when I got to the camera, maybe I didn't hit the record button on one of them. There's 7 triples. Okay? Now, on the internet, of course, you guys know that any set or lift that doesn't get filmed doesn't count. And so obviously I'm lying about the 8. And I only must have done 7 sets. But in my mind I did 8. And you know, I guess we just have to accept that. I don't know, the truth is somewhere in between. But no guys, seriously, I legitimately thought I did 8 sets. I don't know what happened. Maybe I miscounted. It's possible I'm wrong. It is possible I only did 7. Get lightheaded sometimes with these short breaks. So what do I got going on there with the lifts? Well, we're calculating based upon my last box squat max, right? 502 on the 12-inch box. So running that at 55% today, I'm off like a pound. I didn't want to dig out microplates. Close enough. It's close enough for government work. So we did that, and I'm running 25% chains. So I've actually got 125 pounds of chains. Now I got the chains dialed in perfectly to where I think I've got them to where they are completely in the air. They're completely, yep, see, they're hanging, they're swinging, they're not touching. And I think I got them where they finally completely unload. I found the right link count. We got to be ridiculous with this stuff because, you know, every pound counts, right? We live and die by the numbers. But it's all good, guys. You know, some people have said, I think your speed work is too slow. It's like, well, what do you want me to do? Actually, I had a guy do that the other day. He goes, if that's your dynamic work, I'd hate to see your max work. It's like, well, you know, it is what it is, brother. I mean, I'm calculating the percentages based upon the maxes. You guys can see the maxes. They're done with calibrated plates. You know, arguably, could I be faster on the speed work? Yes. But how do you get faster? You train for it. You keep trying to lift explosively. You practice it. I will admit I do need to get faster, right? But I think people need to remember too, particularly when you start getting against those chains and stuff, as that weight adds up, they actually intentionally slow you down, right? It changes your deceleration. It changes the deceleration curve. So it does make it harder to follow through with speed, and that's the whole point. That's why we run the really, really aggressive tension, because that's a lot of contrast weight. Because when we say the 25%, we don't mean 25% of the weight on the bar. We mean 25% of your max. So if you lift 400 pounds as a max on a lift when we do speed work, you do 100 pounds of chains. You do 100 pounds of bands, irrespective of what percentage you're running on the bar. So I'm trying to do 50, 55, 60% is what I'm doing. And I mean, it's based off my real maxes. But, you know, I need to keep working on getting faster. I need to get more explosive, more speed, more power. And I'm working on it, you know. I'm working on it. I'm decently explosive, but I'm obviously not a genetic freak. And I think that's what people have to remember when it comes sometimes to speed. It's usually the guys who you think of as the genetic freaks. Those are the guys who get the you know, NFL contract, you know, those guys who get the NBA contract, the genetic freaks, they're usually very explosive. Those are guys who have a 36-inch vertical jump in high school, right? Those guys, right? That's your freaks. That's the guys who just explode. They do 2 weeks worth of speed work, and all of a sudden they just bend the bar on every rep, right? So the point is, we try to work on the speed, try to get explosive. And I'm getting there. I mean, the strength is coming up. My squat is actually at this point reasonably competitive. Now people say for your weight, well, for my age class too. That's what people need to look at. I think they forget that I do not have to compete as an open lifter anymore. I'm well past that category. So I'd actually be reasonably competitive at my squats these days. Now that means I have a long way to go. Right, because it's one thing to be reasonably competitive, it's another thing to be really, really good. Got a lot of work to keep putting in. Got to keep doing the work, baby, day after day. And that's what I'm doing. Same thing. Deadlifts are the same thing. I don't quite have enough chains to get as much chain tension as I want. Bands I can get away with because I can run multiple sets of bands. Like I can get band tension. I just don't have enough chains. Right? I need more chains. Should probably get some more. But only because of the deadlift. Like literally trying to get 25% of my deadlift is a little bit hard on chains. But I think I've got those set too. Look, the chains are completely unloaded at the bottom. Right? Look at that. Oh, I got it all dialed in. Look at it. These chains are completely unloaded because they stack onto each other. All of it lifts in the air. The whole thing. Bam. Just barely. Beautiful. So I did 20 singles of these. 20 singles today. All with a hook grip. And the hook grip's coming along. I honestly have to say the best thing I have done for building my hook grip is doing the speed work with bands with a hook grip. Like doing 20 singles against more than 100 pounds. You use like 150 pounds of band tension. When you do 20 singles all with a hook grip, it forces you to really learn to set that hook. I find my biggest problem even with hook gripping a heavy weight is, do I chalk enough? And because I use a lot of the liquid grip, I don't like to use a bunch of powdered chalk in my own home. So I use liquid grip, but getting enough chalk when you go heavy is usually what makes or breaks me. Now, I need more grip work. I need a lot more grip work, and I'm doing it. And I think the farmer's carries help, because I do the farmer's walks. You guys have now seen the handles. You know I have them. They exist. Just like you could see the handle of my GHR on those squats. That's what you're seeing in the way of the camera, which I've shown a picture of it. I don't know why people doubt the existence. I've seen a picture. I can assure you I didn't rent one, move it into my place, and then take a picture in this same room on the edge of the room and then take it back out. I don't think they don't do rentals. Unless you guys know something I don't. So, oh God, the things people say on the internet. It just gets ridiculous at a certain point, guys. I can't even keep up with the stuff people say anymore. I lose track of it. I really do. You know, it is what it is. At a certain point, you have to just stop caring. So, been the best thing I've done lately has been that, and I think the farmer's carries. I do need to start working because I feel like my deadlift is going to come up a lot more as I continue to work these weak points, as I start to actually have a max effort day for it. I will start incorporating more of my pinch block work again. I think that's going to be my magic rotation. It's going to be the speed work for 20 singles, particularly the waves where I do the bands. It's going to help with just developing that hook. I think the farmer's walks are helping. And then I think combine that with doing the pinch block work, I think that will get my grip where I need it to keep it on point. We got to keep it moving forward. Because I feel like that's going to be a weak link for me coming up if I allow it to be on my deadlift. So I need to really, really stay on top of it moving forward. You know, the same thing on my core work. I actually had someone try to say, and it's like, guys, I love you and you mean really well. He's like, you just don't do enough core work. Your abs and stuff are your weak link, not your mid back on that deadlift. And it's like, bro, I can assure you I probably do more core work than 99% of people out there. I do a lot of ab work. I don't think I need to do more. I don't think I could recover from more. I think I am legitimately at my maximum recoverable volume for ab work every week. All right. I think if I tried to add 3 more sets that I would overtrain them. This is what I think. Because I do about 20 very serious, legit hard work sets. About 20 sets of direct ab work every week, which is, I think, a pretty hefty amount. I don't think I can handle much more. As far as the quad work goes, we're addressing that. I do know my quads are a possible weak link in general. Right? My squat will go up based on my quads. I know I've got at least another 50 pound of squat strength just by getting my quads up. I need another 50 pound of quad. That's what I need. Not weight, but ability to squat. They are holding me back. But, you know, what do? You train them. You know, people will say that they'll be like, what do you mean? Your quads are pretty big. No, I have low 500 pound squats. Quads is what I have. And if you think that a low 500 squat is a great squat, then by all means, I guess I have big quads. I need to be better than that, right? I need to be better. I need to make my weak link my strong link, and we're going to be addressing that, particularly on the max effort days more. I'm going to start doing, as slowly ramping up the volume on it, more and more and more quad work, particularly on the max squat days. Especially on those days, I'm going to really start beating up my quads with the weighted step ups and stuff like that. They just need more volume. I need to thicken them up. Like, I need to take my quads and make them dominant. And by doing that, that will give me everything I need out of the squat. But my deadlift does need more grip, and I need more mid back. I have to have it. So we got to have. And we do that by training it. We do it with our supplemental lifts. And I felt like the deficit deadlift the other day really, really brought that out. When I missed that max with the 3-inch deficit, which was still a PR, mind you. I still PR'd it. But I've also had to rebuild my deadlifts after pulling that back in the rehab and the cutting last year. There's a lot of rebuilding to take place. I mean, and when we'll get it there, I'll get it there. But there's a lot of buildup that has to be done to get a respectable deadlift again for me at this point. A lot of weak points that need to be addressed. And again, a lot of it has to do with things like my mid-back, my lower traps, my lower thoracic erectors, middle back, all that stuff. There's a lot of that needs more work. And in the meantime, I'm going to continue to work things like my hamstrings and all that. Those need work too. They'll help, but they're not my real limiting factor right now. My middle back is. And I need to make sure the grip is going to be the other one. So those things have to be worked. They've got to be trained. And the only way to do them is to just consistently put in the work. There's no magic cure for that. There's no just magic button I can say, oh, let me just do this one exercise for 2 weeks and it will fix everything. That's not the world we live in. Just like anything else, there's a lot of broken stuff I've got to fix in all aspects of my life. These things take time and consistency. Everything worth doing in life takes time, and it takes consistency, and it takes work. And there's other things, like I've got videos I've got coming up discussing certain things I'm doing as far as just the way that I've interacted with the public needs certain amounts of work. And it's going to take a long, long, long time to fix things. Right? Anything worth doing takes a lot of consistent hard work. I don't care what it is. Anything in life that is worth doing takes consistent hard work. And there have been many, many times in my own life where I've fallen short of that. But it's because maybe I didn't know any better. There have been times in my life where I didn't have my head straight, times where maybe I've been flat lazy. And we have to acknowledge those things. All of us do. We have to acknowledge those things. And we have to be able to say, I can do better. And if anything, that's one of the valuable life lessons that I've learned in my life. Number one, what you feed grows. For better, for worse. You feed negative crap, negativity grows, and you reap what you sow, unfortunately. One of the most valuable life lessons I've ever learned. It's a lesson I didn't learn until much later in life. You want some words of wisdom? There you go. What you feed grows, and you reap what you sow. That's right out of the Bible. You reap what you sow, brothers. So if you want to change what you get, you got to change what you put in. And you're going to have to do it sometimes for a real long time. And that comes back over to the training and the hard work and everything else. You want to get strong. You want to fix your weak links. Sometimes it will take you months. It might take you 6 months. It might take you a year to fix a weak link. You're only going to fix it by being consistent and busting your ass. That's it. That is the only shortcut. We did our box jumps. Box jumps, pretty good today. Did 6 sets of 3. And no, that's not a heavyweight. It's just a 25-pound kettlebell, right? Not a big deal. Obviously, it's a fake plastic kettlebell because Jason's not strong enough to jump with a real kettlebell made of metal. So it's obviously a fake plastic kettlebell. Because, moving my big, heavy 218-pound booty is actually more than I can actually do. I actually have invisible reverse bands hooked under my armpits. Like I can't hang them around my neck because it would strangulate me. So I've got them hooked under my armpits, and because they're invisible, you guys can't see them, and it's helping propel me through the air because obviously there is no way at 218 I could actually jump more than about 3 inches, maybe 4 inches off the floor. So we do the reverse straps and the plastic kettlebell to get up on that box. Joking aside, guys, joking aside. Jumping on the boxes is what you want to do. I feel like I need to make a video on that after some of the back and forth I had in my comments the other day. There's a reason we jump onto boxes instead of just jumping in the air. There is no benefit to landing on the ground for explosive training. There is only risk. Okay? All of the explosiveness is in the jump. The landing is how you tear tendons and Achilles tendons, and I'm not on a playing field, I'm in training. If you're going to do 18 jumps, you see what I'm saying? If you're going to do 18 jumps, there's no point taking a risk. That's just silly. You get all the benefit from the jump. And we did good mornings, and some people are going to be like, man, your range of motion needs work. Yeah, it probably does. I didn't realize I was going this high. But you know what? With that much band tension, I felt them. I will work on getting deeper. I'll work on getting deeper. But with the wider stance, me getting used to using, again, that bar again, because I've been using the safety bar. And particularly against the bands, man, it just felt like even at that position, the stretch on my hamstrings was tremendous. Like I'm actually doing them without the safety bar and doing them a hair further down my back using a barbell because I wanted to get more mid-back, right? More mid-back and less upper back and neck and all that, right? Because I need that mid-back. But then I throw the bands on and I do them, and it's like it's all hamstring. It's like the first set. Like, you know how sometimes you get that hamstring cramp, not low down, but right up by the butt cheek. Like right where my upper hamstring inserts into my right glute, it cramped on that very first set. I had to go walk it out and make sure it was okay. And then once it was good, I came back and did 3 more sets. But it's like, man, these are beating my hamstrings up. Beating up them hamstrings. You know? This is what it is. I was really hoping to get more mid-back. So if I have to, I mean, not that I mind the hamstring work. Let's be honest. We can never have too much hamstring development. Particularly something like this, it gives that nice stretch reflex. You get a myotatic reflex. Gives you powerful hamstrings. That's not a bad thing, but I do need more mid-back. If I have to, I absolutely have to, if it becomes imperative, if I get my grip caught up and my grip becomes so fantastic that my mid-back is really limiting my deadlifts, we'll have to do some seated good mornings, right? And we're getting complicated now on that fluff and pump. All sorts of goofy fluff and pump exercises. A seated good morning with chains or something, right? Goofing off, playing around like that. No, seriously though, that's a phenomenal exercise. And here's the thing, guys, all these supplemental lifts, you've got to learn how to make them work to target what you need to target, right? We got to get thick as peanut butter. That's the name of the game. Wherever you are not thick as a jar of natural crunchy peanut butter, that's what you got to thicken up. That's what work mode training is about, guys. All right, guys, so that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.